I have no idea how to start, but please understand this comes from the good place. I will share one of my recent experiences, and by any means, I'm not offering you nutritional advice. I was diagnosed with atopic dermatitis as a teenager, also as known as eczema, among other chronic conditions that I suffer from at that time. You can see them on your screen. Almost over a decade later, finally, I got all my health issues under control, predominantly by food selection, sourcing organic, buying whole foods, and cooking every day. No need for medications or skin creams anymore. This came with specific price, as I do not eat some foods that are considered healthy, staple, and traditional. Socializing over food ain't a thing for me anymore, which leads to awkward situations with my friends and family. Fast forward to more recent experience. I was about to leave California for a trip to East Coast. My skin started acting up, lightly itchy, reddish on the right wrist. 3 days in, the conditions got worse and showed little in the left wrist. Symptoms will be worse when I touch certain fabrics. It was not getting better. The itchiness was more vigorous and got all over my arms. I don't remember my skin being this bad for some years now. A couple more days passed and nothing got better. A few small cracks showed up, mostly around my wrist and now at my fingers. It was really irritating. I dropped a couple of foods I had recently introduced back into my diet. I was very suspicious of them, as I know there's a strong link between the gut and the skin. For next 3 to 4 days, I drove through Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Alabama. Temperature was a lot colder, 55 Fahrenheit, around 13 Celsius, and as low as 25 Fahrenheit, around -4 Celsius. The redness down my skin was not as bad, but my skin now became cracked up and bleeding a little. The itchy sensation was minimal, but my skin looked so old and scary dry with flaring up all over. It hurt just to touching it. I decided to drop one more thing I had just introduced back to my diet over a month ago, and I was very suspicious about it. Also, I was so annoyed at myself because I should know for better that I should not eat certain things that I had repeatedly proved to myself that do not serve me well. I splashed raw apple cider vinegar over my hands. It helped a little. Out of other ideas, I decided to fast. I ended up doing almost 30 hours of water fast. Those next 2 days, the pain was a lot less, and I knew it's getting better. I decided to take these pictures, which I later sent it to my dad. He commented that it looks almost like his psoriasis, just his symptoms are a lot worse. 2 to 3 days later, skin was almost back to how it was before this unpleasant experience, with no pain and itchiness. A couple of weeks later, I decided to investigate and see if I could pinpoint what happened to cause this crazy skin flare-up. I introduced one of the foods I eliminated back to my diet every week and observed my skin closely. After a month, I can say I pinpointed the culprit. I was surprised a little because I had bought this food in a whole food organic form and cooked it home. Also, that food is considered healthy, and some people in my close circle are doing fine on it. The others are not doing well on it. And there is a third group that is not doing well on it, but believes it's healthy for them and keeps eating it. It took about 10 more days for my skin to go back to normal. I'm not going to disclose what food it is because it's truly not important to you. And we are all biochemically different and have different health challenges. One man's food might be other man's poison. Truly, no one size fits all, especially in nutrition. This formula has served my clients and me well so far. Of course, it is not all you will do to reach your health potential, but can be a great start and a stable foundation. It does tear me apart whenever I refuse a food that people offer me, especially if it comes from my dear friends and family, and especially if it's from my mom. I love her cooking, but also I value health and have a responsibility to keep myself as healthy as possible. So please understand next time, if I don't accept your food or go with you to the restaurant, it has nothing to do with you, but to my conscious food choices. I personally think if we as a society start again socializing over each other's company, rather than food fashion industry, we can tap our peak of health and wellness and get even closer to each other. Fashion industry, you know, this and that restaurant, this looking food that most of the time is more non-food than food. I hope after this video, we all will focus a little more on the foods that we are eating and understand that food is our medicine. Pharmaceutical and cosmetic products can come in handy, but we should cover our bases with real foods. And in the end, we might not need anything else. Eat what we can tolerate and avoid what we can't handle as much as possible, no matter how healthy that food is. Thank you for listening.